Well, hello everyone. This is Mother Teresa with Grandstanding with Mother Teresa on a Tuesday night. It's 7 o'clock. Actually, it's 7:01. And I just want to say thank everyone for joining in with me on tonight. Hi, Shekinah, and whoever else that's on here. I can't really see who you are, remember, unless you say something to me in the chat. So I just want to say thank you for joining in with me on tonight as we grandstand. And as I often state, that whenever I am grandstanding, I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. And typically, what I will do is I will find one of the chapters from my journal that I have written, and I will just talk about some of the things from the journal. And so on tonight, hey Ebony and hello Doris. Just wanted to kind of share with you all a little bit of some things that I've been kind of thinking about this week. And also, not only just thinking about this week, but some things that were spoken at on last week. So I wanted to share a little bit of information with you about the power of our words, the power of affirmations. And when we think about the power of our words and the power of affirmation, one of the things I want you always to remember is that when we are speaking, even the Bible tells us that we have to speak those things into existence. The things that are not, and I'm not quoting the Bible, but I'm just telling you what it says, that sometimes those things that are not, we've got to speak them into existence. And so many times there are things or goals that we want to happen in our lives, and they haven't materialized yet. So what do we have to do? We have to be firm. We have to be intentional. We have to have faith to believe that those things can happen. And of course, it takes effort. So you've got to do some work. You just cannot talk about those things and not put forth any effort to make those things come to pass. You've got to actually put forth some effort. And so in putting forth that effort, some of that is speaking that thing. Some of those things are speaking words of affirmation, speaking those power words. I like to say power words because sometimes when we're talking about a certain thing or we're talking about a thing, we can just kind of be a little bit lackadaisical. And it's just like, oh, I wish that would happen. Or, in the future, if this could happen. But no, get serious about the things that you are wanting and speak those things into existence. And sometimes that comes by speaking those words of affirmation, not only over that situation, but even over your life. And so in my journal, it asks us to share a personal affirmation that motivates you. So what are some of the things that you speak over your own life or in your own situation that motivates you to move forward, that motivates you to achieve the things that you have stated that you wanted to achieve? And and a lot of times we used to hear people say that only crazy people talk to themselves, only crazy people answer themselves, only crazy people, do those things like that. But I challenge that, because the things that we know to be true and I can say for me in my life, hey, Ned, the things that I know to be true in my life is that there are many times that I've had to speak that thing out, not only speak that thing out, but also write it down. Even in the word, it tells us to, when we make a plan, make that plan and then write it down. Write the plan, make it plain, and then write it down, put it on tablets so men can, see your vision and then run with it. And so that lets me know that whenever I have something that I am planning or that I'm trying to bring to pass, I need to be writing those things down. Hence, that's why you need a good journal. And so write those things down. Write down the things that you want to come to pass. Sometimes people keep a daily calendar. For some, like me, I like to keep a paper calendar. That's what I keep for at work. But not only do I keep a paper calendar, but I keep my Outlook calendar for work. And so these are the things that I know that I need to do on a daily basis. So I write those things down. So first of all, it can keep me on track and help me to know how to navigate the day. And also, what are the expectations? Where do I need to be? What are the expectations for me for that day? What meetings do I need to be at? And also, if I have some things that are due, it helps me to be able to write those things down. So let's get back to the words of affirmation, the self-talk, the positive self-talk. You know, a lot of us, we can talk ourselves. Hello there, Brother Joe. A lot of us can talk ourselves out of a blessing. You know, we can think ourselves out of a blessing. And I say that because you are being presented with something, or something comes across your way, or across, some things, fall in your lap literally. And if you are not prepared for it, if you haven't gotten your state of mind to where you are in the receiving mode, then that thing may fall in your lap and you're not even ready to receive it. So it falls in your lap and then it just kind of falls through your lap because you were not ready to receive it. You didn't do any preparations, or you didn't prep yourself to receive anything. And so you've got to make sure that you are preparing those things, or preparing yourself for those things that you are actually seeking after. I've been talking a lot about intentions lately. And that is my word for the year, is intentions. There is a lot of things that we have to do. Hello, Janet. There are a lot of things that we have to be so intentional about in order for those things to come to pass. And I often say we just cannot be so willy-nilly about the things that we are striving for, because we need a plan. We need to make sure that if it's something that we're striving for, what are you doing to obtain those things? Okay, so make sure that there is some intention behind the things that you are striving for. And going back to making it, writing it down, one of the greatest things that I know is that when you are planning for something major, when you're planning for something big, a lot of times what you try to, thank you, Janet, a lot of times what you try to do is you try to make sure that you have set yourself an itinerary. Okay, so if you're going on vacation, and I kind of talked a little bit about this on Sunday evening, if you're going on vacation, then plan for what you're going to do. Hello, Angela. Plan for what you are going to do, because unless you plan a vacation like my husband and I had a couple last year, where we just kind of packed up. We knew that we wanted to kind of scan the back roads of Texas, and I think Mississippi, and wherever else we wind up, Louisiana. So we didn't necessarily have an itinerary that was so set in stone like I normally do. But it was just an itinerary of, we're going to Hattiesburg, we're going to Natchitoches, we're going to wherever. And then whatever happens while we're there, it just happens. So that was the itinerary, but we still had some intentions. We still knew where we were going, but we let our itinerary be a little bit loose. But in case you're trying to achieve some big things or some other things, that may require you to have a really tight itinerary. So going back to the itinerary and being intentional, make sure that you're speaking those things. Make sure that you have developed a positive mindset, that this is what you're going for, this is what you're trying to achieve, and then you go for it. And sometimes, my husband said a statement years ago when I had never heard that statement about keeping things close to the vest. Well, I had never heard that, so I really didn't know what that meant. But some of the things that we have great intentions about, sometimes we need to keep those things close, or we need to keep those things to ourselves until we're ready to reveal it. It's nothing like sharing some of your greatest or your deepest desires, or even sometimes it could be business plans, and you shared with the wrong person, and then your next thing you know, that person that you shared it with has taken your business idea, and they have, jumped on it, or moved before you could actually move on it. So sometimes, in that instance, you need to kind of keep those things close. You need, Ned said, move in silence. You're absolutely right. And then not only are we moving in silence and we're keeping those things close, sometimes when you share your thoughts or your desires or your business ideas with people, sometimes they will begin to speak negatively about those things. They'll speak negatively to you, but then they'll speak negative about those the things that you have in mind. And you got to remember that a lot of times when we are moving forward and we're moving and trying to do certain things, God gives it to us to do. And when he gives us something to do, he doesn't give the details and everything to anybody else. He gives it to you. And when he gives it to you, then it's up to you to make sure that you're able to fulfill or to unfold what he has given you. So he didn't give it to my daughter. He didn't give it to my husband. He gave it to me. And so because he gave it to me, hey, Ain't Sent, Sister Sent, I see what Ned said, Ain't Sent, but hello, my sister Sent. When he gives us something to do, it's up to us to make it happen. And there have been so many times that we have shared our thoughts with the wrong person. And then they began to kind of pull away from you because they thinking that you are trying to be grand and elaborate. And there's another word for it, that when you're trying to be something above what you are. You all young people that are on here, y'all help me. What are some of those words when somebody is trying to be something different? I know one word used to be extra, but that's not the word I'm thinking about. But you all just make sure that you are taking care of your business. When it comes to exploring the power of affirmations, remember I said this is not just for some of your career moves that you're trying to make, but some of the things when you're thinking about the power of affirmations, that needs to be in your family life. There may be some things that you need to speak over your family. There may be some things that you need to speak over yourself. And so, and that can be a major thing, that when you are speaking the words of affirmation over yourself, do y'all realize that sometimes it takes everything within me and everything within some of the ones that are watching here to get up out of the bed in the morning? Sometimes, we could have had some things that have happened in our lives, or some things that have occurred, in our personal life, in our work life, and just in our life, or some things that are some traumas that we haven't dealt with in the past. And it takes every single bit of energy for us to just get up out of the bed. And then when we do get up out of the bed, we've got to sit there for a moment before we stand up and talk to ourselves and talk to God and ask him to, help me throughout this day. I need you to order my steps. I need you to make my path clear. Give me guidance, give me direction, but help me to be able to manage this day. Because so many times that things can just bog us down, and we have to do that positive self-talk to just get us out of the bed. And then once we get up out of that bed, we've got to make sure that we are continuing, possibly throughout the course of the day, is to continue to talk to ourselves, continue to pep ourselves up, continue to come with those words that are wholesome, those words that can help lift you. And I keep going back to those positive things. The world is going to beat us up. and give us all kind of negative things. And and sometimes as people in our lives, they're going to say all kinds of negative things to us. Hopefully that's not the case, but sometimes it is. But going out into the world, we've got to have, first of all, the armor on. And I say the armor of God, but we also got to have our own armor where we have intentionally covered ourselves with, with prayer and different things like that. But also know that when somebody calls you one thing, that that's not who you are, don't answer to it. If someone calls you, whatever it may be, when I'm dealing with, people at work, there's a lot of different things that people can say, about, the work that we're doing and the students that we're working with. But you know what? We just need to call those kids by their names and call each other by their names. That may not make a lot of sense, but when you think about it, hopefully it will. Because one of the things that we often need to make sure is that we're not speaking condemnation over other people. We're not speaking negativity over other people. Again, like I say, we get enough of that. There's plenty of that out in the world. So we got to make sure that we combat that by covering ourselves with those positive things and with those positive mindsets. What are some goals that you've set that you need to speak a word of affirmation? What are the things that you need to do some positive self-talk so you can meet that goal? Some of you all have some very big goals that you've set, but and it may be going a little bit slower. It may. Hey, Jennifer, it's been a while, Jennifer, since I've even seen you, and your son. And I know probably you have multiple children by now, but I think Ryan is your son. But Jennifer, it's good to see you. So one of the things that when we're making those goals and when we're doing certain things, we've got to make sure, again, if you have big goals and you've got big dreams, that you've got to have some big faith, you all. You've got to have some big faith. And then not only just your faith, but you couple that with other people, like-minded people who are believers. And yes. 3 sons. Oh, wow. You've got to have like-minded people to stand with you. And so when you have a team of people that are standing with you and they're like-minded people, you can definitely make sure that they are holding you up. Hey, Miracle, holding you up, and they're giving you that encouragement that you need in order to be able to complete the task. And again, like I said, surround yourself with those positive people, and make sure that they are covered and make sure that you're covered. And also teach your children. When I talked earlier about self-talk, teach your children. Hey, Felicia, teach your children how to speak over themselves. Teach your children, first of all, prayer. Make sure that they are praying and make sure that they are covering themselves with the Word of God. But also teach them that when things are not necessarily going their way or they're feeling some kind of way, that they need to learn how to talk to themselves. And first of all, tell them, hey, self, you can do this. You need to be positive. You need to come on. You can do this. You may, be taking a test and the answers may not be coming to you that, you've studied. And now those, the answers are just kind of evaporating out of your head. But make sure that you let them know to speak over themselves. Stop and then tell yourself, listen, I am strong, I am wise, I am, smart. One of the things that I know that in the morning time, hey, Nicole, one of the things that I really appreciate about my daughter Candace and Chase, that before Chase gets out of the car and goes into his school, she has him to repeat a whole list of things about, he is smart, he's intelligent. And he said, I am chaste and I am smart, I am intelligent, I am strong, I am this, I am all of these things. Now, I can't really tell you all the different things that he says, but it's a list of things that he says every single morning when he gets out of the car. Mom, he says those things. And so, and that's helping Chase to develop that sense of, I can do this. That's that positive self-talk of talking to himself. And so, and when other kids walk up to him and they say something that's kind of sideways or not in alignment with what he has spoken, and that morning, then he can brush those things off and let them just kind of fall off his back. And for a young child, that is so very important, because kids can be so very cruel. They can say some things that would just, make other kids just boo-hoo and cry. And, and a lot of times they're calling that bullying. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it's bullying. It's just that kids do not know how to be nice. Kids do not know how to, and that's not all kids. So I don't want to group everybody together, but some kids are just mean. Some kids can, just say some hateful things, and maybe it's because no one is speaking life over them. But I challenge you that have the little children, that have young children. I see Miracle on here. I see Ebony, and I see others that have, young children or children that are still in school. Teach those babies before they go leave out of your house in the morning. First of all, cover them. You cover them with prayer, and then you teach them to pray for themselves. Hey, Betty, you teach them to pray for themselves. And then also, not only just at the morning time, but all throughout the day, just be saying, keeping some kind of positive something. And it may not necessarily be a prayer. Prayer is good. It's the best thing to cover us. But sometimes we just got to be able to just continue to say, I am somebody. I am smart. I'm intelligent. I'm a good kid. I'm a good looking kid, and so the things that they are saying to themselves, it makes it hard for someone else to come in and say something negative. And when they do, they're able to let it just, roll off their backs. And so teach our kids that, and not only teach our kids that, but like I said, we need to take on those things too. And make sure that you're speaking words of affirmation. Make sure that that you are doing this not only for, like I said, when you're trying to achieve a goal, but think about your mental health. I am definitely a proponent of making sure that we're taking care of our mind, because one of the things that I know is that things can be so heavy again on you that it just crushes you. But if you're making sure that you are mentally and emotionally well and strong, it's hard for the devil to get in and cause some disruption. So make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. I was talking to someone today, and they were talking about, taking mental health days. And this is something that when we had a retreat for work, and it was a retreat that had myself, some of the other administrators, principals, assistant principals, counselors, all of those different people that were together. And one of the things that we talked about, of course, it was a professional development, but we talked a lot about our mental health and our emotional health. And so one of the things that we discussed was allowing and encouraging our staff members to take mental health days. And as they are taking those mental health days, as the supervisors and as campus administrators, don't make them feel bad about taking those days. The thing that we know is that if they take those mental health days, and if they take care of themselves mentally, then when they come back to school, they're better able to take care of those students. So let's encourage that. Let's make sure that we are utilizing our mental health days. And even if you don't work for a school district, wherever you work, hopefully you have some mental health days that you can take and that you are actually taking them. One of the things that we often hear is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. And that is absolutely true. I actually heard a twist on that last week, is that sometimes we have to empty our cup in order to fill it. And so you think about that on the natural sense. Sometimes we are already empty. And sometimes our cup has been empty for a long period of time. And when that cup is empty, you have nothing to pour. You have nothing to pour. You have nothing to draw from. You're depleted. So keep that cup full if you possibly can, because when your cup is full, then you can pour into other people. You all think about it. There are so many people that are in your surroundings or in your presence that just need a word. They just need a word of encouragement, because again, we get a lot of negativity, but they just need a word. And sometimes the word that they need is in your mouth. Okay. So you have to open your mouth and you have to speak those things. You have to be able to share those things with other people. God gives us all a spirit of encouragement, I believe. I know that that's what I am called to do, is to encourage. And I do my very best to encourage people. Am I 100% good at that all the time? Absolutely not. I'm human, so I have some frailties. I have some faults, but I am striving to be that person that I can encourage other people, and I can say, those positive things, not only to myself, but when I have an opportunity, I can say those positive things to other people. And let me just tell you, sometimes that's all a person needs to hear, is something positive. I share the Monday motivation not only with my Facebook friends, but I also do it for work. And on this week, I'm not even sure what I talked about, but it was something to the degree of, a lot of times we are so busy looking at the closed doors in our lives that we fail to see the open doors. And when there is an open door, sometimes it's time to walk through it, but we're so busy looking at the things that we are presently in, or whatever, that we fail to walk through those open doors. And I look at those open doors as opportunities for us to do something different, opportunities for us to grow, opportunities for us to make some life changes that we absolutely need. But sometimes we're stuck, y'all. Sometimes we're stuck. And because we're stuck, we are afraid to make the smallest step to get us to the goals that we have so desperately been trying to reach. So I challenge you, is don't just look at those, those closed doors that's behind you. Look at those open doors and see what you can do with those open doors. A lot of times when you walk through that door, that's all God has been waiting for you to do, is to make that one step. Yes, I'm still in Texas. As a matter of fact, I'm in Baytown. And so when you make that one step, God then opens up the door for you to be able to do a lot of other things. And so again, sometimes it's that one step. I followed my open door to Colorado. Yes. And sometimes those doors lead us to the things that we have been yearning for years. Take the steps, and when you take those steps, don't look back. Don't look back and say, oh, I made a terrible mistake. I should go back, or I should do this. And you know what? Don't look back. When we moved to Baytown, of course, I did have some regrets because I left my family there. But when I tell you all that God has been so very good to me and my family, and it's because we saw the open doors and we walked through those open doors. And again, not looking back, not regretting it, not whatever. And we got to teach not only ourselves that. If we teach ourselves that and our kids see us doing that, then they're going to be they're going to be able to follow in your footsteps. Okay. We don't want to get to a point in our lives where we are like, oh my goodness, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. And sometimes the opportunity has passed. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that opportunity has passed. So don't let your fears, which is another chapter that I have in my journal, is it talks about our fears and different changes. Again, if you haven't picked up this my journal, please go to Amazon and pick it up, because there's a lot of good things. And again, when we talk about the power of affirmation, make sure that you stay on top of it. Make sure that you're saying some things that, some positive self-talk for yourself that you can live by on a daily basis. And not only are you making sure that you are doing that positive self-talk, but try to drown out the negative. The negative things are going to pop up, and they're just like little whatever. They're going to, just kind of try to get you off track and get you off focus. But be able to get rid of all that negative, what they call in the counseling world, stinking thinking. What is the name of it? Oh, my book is Conversations from a Mother's Heart. It's on Amazon. So this is one of my journals for mothers. And then, of course, I have Tales from the Clothesline. It's a daily journal as well. But I will put it in the information here. If you haven't picked it up, go ahead and get it from Amazon. Going back, and as I close, because I know my time is far spent, is that make sure that you're taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health. One of the things, Jennifer, I'm so sorry to hear that. Definitely praying for you. Definitely praying for anyone who has lost a loved one. One of the things I'm grateful for is that, Jennifer, my mom is, she's tuned in. She's with me every time I come on. And it's nothing like a mother's love. So my prayers are with you from losing your mom. And anyone else on here that has lost a loved one, our prayers are definitely with you. And that's when we're going through different things like that. That's why it's so very important to stay positive and kind of keep yourself in a good place. And even though we have to deal with grief and we have to deal with trauma and we have to deal with loss, there are some things and there are some ways and some strategies and some coping skills that we all must learn that will help us along the way. And so I pray that, that God's, just gives you that strength and that comfort as you are dealing with the loss of your mother. Listen, everyone, this has been a great conversation. I typically am on for only 30 minutes. For those of you all, Jennifer, that is just joining me for the first time, and Janet and some of the other people, go back and look at some of the replays that I have, and hopefully it's a word of encouragement that will, be beneficial to you. Again, I just talk about what I talk about, what I like to talk about, and hopefully it's a blessing to someone. The things that I go through, as an individual and as a person, as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, just a female, some of the things are not so very different than what you are going through. And so I just take my stories, I take the experiences that's happened in my life, and I'm able to talk about it. And this is very therapeutic for me. Thanks so much to you too, Nicole. This is very therapeutic to me. They ask at the conference, what are some of the things that you enjoy doing that causes you to smile and that relaxes you? Little did I know, several years ago or even a year or so ago, when God was asking me or telling me, I need you to do this social media post, I did not understand the reason why that I was needing to do this, but I'm beginning to sense the reason why I'm having to do this. Because again, we've all dealt with different types of trauma in our life. And so as a counselor, as a social worker, there were things that we were taught in school. One of the things that I shared, that going through my counseling course, is that we had to go to counseling before we could counsel someone else. And so sometimes, different things are revealed, and you learn things that have happened in your past, and it's like, oh, wow. But being able to then move beyond and deal with the things that have happened, not only in your life, but it helps you to be a better counselor and a better social worker and just a better person, to be able to then share that kindness and that empathy for someone else. And so again, being able to speak to other people and being able to offer words of encouragement and just trying to provide some comfort. Again, like I said, I'm doing my best, and I think that I'm doing a pretty good job, but I can always do better. I can always do better. So thank you all so very much for being with us on tonight. Jennifer, I'm so glad to, hey, Veronica, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. And again, our prayers are going out to you. Veronica, thank you. I was wondering if you were on here. I didn't see your name pop up. We have a lot of visitors that are followers and listeners that are here with me every single week. And I appreciate you all so very much. You just don't know how much I appreciate it. So keep joining, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep telling other people that I'm on. And again, share this live. Share the video with other people. Call in, or not call in, but chat with me. I'm trying to learn how to invite guests to be a part of. And when I get that down pretty good, or get this part down, then I'll be able to allow guests to come on and to actually interact with me. But I'm still learning. I don't want to mess anything up, you all. So I'm still learning. This has been a great night to be able to grandstand with Mother Teresa. Again, hello, I missed you. Well, you know what, Veronica? You can always listen to what I guess is called the replay. So listen to the replay. Veronica, tell other people about grandstanding with Mother Teresa. Again, I appreciate you all being here with me on tonight. And as we are closing out this segment, I just want to say that for anyone that is in the Nacogdoches area, I know, good job, Mommy. Oh, thank you, Shekinah. I know that there is a service that's coming up. I saw this the other day, and it is a musical, I think, for Bethel Temple. And let me just say this, when we were talking about just memories and things that, make you feel good. I saw so many people on that video that is no longer with us, but it just made my heart smile. I'm not even sure when the musical is, but it's for Bethel Temple. And I saw Sister Shirley Linson on there. And it just made my heart it just did something to me. Not only Sister Shirley, but Sherry, and I think, and Roger. So those are just some of the ones that I saw on there who happened to be my cousins. And so if you all are in Nacogdoches, y'all please go out and support them. Support Bethel Temple. You all have a great night. I'm trying to play my music. There it is. There it is. You all have a good night. And thank you all for grandstanding with Mother Teresa. Hi, Gwen. Gwen, you're going to have to catch the replay. We are wrapping it up on tonight. But thank you for joining us. Everybody have a great night. And thank you for grandstanding with Mother Teresa. I will see you all next week. As the old people say, if the Lord delays his coming and the creek doesn't rise, we said that the other day at work, and somebody was like, Miss Caldwell, I've never heard that. But the older you get, you come up with some of those things that, that you used to hear your grandparents say and the different things like that. So thank you all for grandstanding with Mother Teresa. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.